You know, a lot of people always ask me, JD, why do you like NXT so much? Why is it that you're positive on NXT with Wednesday, but on Monday and Tuesday, you're so negative and critical of the product? What is it about NXT that attracts you to the brand? What is it about NXT that you like? What is it about NXT you would change? If you want the answers to any of these questions, all you have to do is watch TakeOver last night and sit down for 2.5 hours and watch WarGames. The only thing that I would change about NXT is adding another mid-card title to make sure everybody has something that they are fighting for. That's the only thing I would change. Everything from the 1-hour format to the way that they care and nurture their characters and their performers, the way the storylines don't insult your intelligence, the way that they just genuinely care for the old school mentality. The fact that they blend old school with new school so perfectly to fit the modern era, the modern current day superstar. Everything about NXT is exactly how I would run my own promotion. NXT is the fans' promotion. NXT listens and thrives off the fans and the heartbeat of the people watching the show. The complete opposite of what we see on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. The one question I am asking everybody today is how WWE, with Survivor Series, are even going to attempt to overcome and outdo and overshadow everything that WarGames was last night. I woke up this morning thinking about that, and I don't even think I have an answer to that question. I don't think I have an answer to that question. Do you want to know why NXT Takeover was so great? I don't even need to review the matches. You guys can go and watch the fucking pay-per-view. You guys can go watch this shit on the WWE Network and see it for yourself. Do you want to know why this pay-per-view was so fucking great from the eyes of the fan? This is why you waited for me to talk about this shit. Because I'm going to bring shit to the table that nobody else is going to be talking about. Do you want to know why WWE is fucking so great with what they do with NXT? Number one, you got the 2 rings. You got the 2 rings on television. It's something that we don't ever see with WWE. We haven't seen this in 20 years with WCW WarGames. The fact that I was worried about WWE and the way that they would present this on the WWE Network was automatically put to rest. It was great. And not only did they just, make it look great, they actually utilized both rings during the entire show. The ring on the left was utilized for the first match. The ring on the right was utilized for the second match. And they went back and forth until they used both rings for the WarGames match. I like the fact that they utilized both rings to give you a different perspective, to give the camera angles a different feel, to give the people in attendance a different look by utilizing both rings during the entire evening. Do you want to know why NXT TakeOver was so great? Because character development actually matters in NXT. NXT character development is so crucial. And WWE hits a home run every single time. Lars Sullivan. We all love Lars Sullivan. We've been expecting Lars Sullivan to break out. We've been expecting big things from Lars Sullivan. We're going to be expecting big things from Lars Sullivan. Last night, if you didn't think Lars Sullivan looked like a superstar already, just based on the way he looked, last night, NXT TakeOver made Lars Sullivan a fucking superstar. Not only with his entrance, not only the way he carried himself in his first TakeOver event, but the fact that WWE cares so much about character development that they took Cassius Ohno, who can knock out anybody on that roster and out-wrestle anyone on that roster. They had Cassius Ohno throw everything at Lars Sullivan, and Lars Sullivan withstood it all and still was able to lift a 270-pound Cassius Ohno up in the freak accident, his finishing move, and finish him off. Lars Sullivan finally tasted what it's like to be pushed around, and he overcame it, and he looked like a bigger monster than he's ever looked before. And they maintain that in the essence that is a big monster. He was presented like a big monster before TakeOver. He was presented as a big monster going into this match. He was presented as a big monster taking everything that Ohno dished out, and he withstood it all. He didn't fall down. He didn't worry. He didn't get stressed out. In fact, he pushed himself to do things that we didn't even see Lars Sullivan do before. Flying off the top rope, just going back and forth with Ohno. He knew he was going to have to level with Ohno, tit for tat. Ohno was throwing elbows and knees and spinning back fists, and Lars Sullivan said, bro, you want to fight? I'm going to fucking bring the fight to you. Character development is key in NXT, and they made Lars Sullivan look like an absolute fucking monster last night. We all knew Velveteen Dream and Alistair Black was going to be something special, but they blew my fucking expectations sky high, and I can't even fucking see where they are anymore. This match was fucking great. When you look back at not only NXT best matches of the year, you're going to be talking about this match as being one of the best matches all year in WWE. Alistair Black is the new Undertaker in WWE. You don't want to hear that? Tough shit. Alistair Black is the new Undertaker. The way he carries himself, the mystique of his entrance, the way he's just stoic in appearance, the way he is just absolutely stone cold in everything that he does. He shows no emotion in the ring. It took the Velveteen Dream to have Alistair Black finally come out of his shell. And that's a testament to how good Dream really is. At 22 years old, Patrick Clark is a fucking superstar in the making. And I don't want to hear anybody negate that fact. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When I seen the Velveteen Dream come out, when I seen Patrick Clark before he was just, the Velveteen Dream, when they just renamed him Velveteen Dream. When I seen Patrick Clark come out, I'm like, what is this shit? This is a Santino Marella-esque, this is an Adam Rose-esque character that's gonna die a miserable fucking death once he sees Vince McMahon and Monday Night Raw. Patrick Clark has done everything in his power to say, I am not going to be a failure in NXT. I am going to make this work. The reason why I respect Patrick Clark so much is because he's taken a gimmick. He's taken a character and he's living the actual fucking character. He is a living, breathing fucking character. Not only on screen, but in real life. He practices. He is so fucking good, I can't even fucking tell anymore. The way his mannerisms are, the way he carries himself, his body language, the way he moves his hips, the way he puckers his lips, everything down to a T. He's nailed with that character. And the fact that he came out and had a throwback with his ring attire, I'm like, holy shit, a throwback to Ravishing Rick Rude. I got glimpses of Rick Rude in Ultimate Warrior when he had Warrior on his fucking tights. This guy comes out with Rick Rude-esque tights. He's got Alistair Black with devil horns on one cheek, and then he's got his face looking flamboyant as hell on the other cheek. How can't you like that? How can you watch this show and tell me that's not good television? How can you watch that and not immerse yourself in that role? Alistair Black is so great at just showing no emotion. The Velveteen Dream is so great at what he does. He finally took Alistair Black and had him come out of his shell. The gyrations. Say my name. Alistair Black was sitting in the middle of the ring. sitting Indian style, showing no emotion whatsoever. Alistair Black is just standing there in his face, gyrating his hips, his crotch right in Alistair Black's face. Black showing no emotion, right? Then Velveteen Dream is like, all right, you want to play this game? Fine. I'm not getting your attention by moving my hips around. He sits the same style that Alistair Black is sitting. And then Alistair Black comes out of his shell and slithers up to Velveteen Dream as if he's gonna fucking kiss him. And he's just like a fucking possessed demon. He's on all fours, just fucking making nasty faces at him. Character development is crucial in NXT. And that's why this brand is thriving right now. The freedom to express these characters. It's as if these characters have no ball and chain. It's like these characters are free to express themselves the way they want to express the character. And not only that, at 22 years old, Patrick Clark is playing a fucking fantastic character. The guy can actually fucking wrestle. The ceiling for this guy in ring is unreal. Unreal. We know what Alistair Black can do. Dream brought Black to the best match he's had all year. And I'm even including the match that Black had with Kyle O'Reilly, because that was a fucking great match. This one was more my style because of the story that was told in the ring with the characters that we were presented. This was a perfect culmination of everything we've seen. You thought the build was great. This match was the final fucking nail in the coffin of this feud. Absolutely beautiful storytelling. Absolutely beautiful storytelling. And the fact that Velveteen Dream had Alistair Black tied up in the ropes and he was going to go slap him across the face, and he didn't do it. Black fought out. It was so great to see the Velveteen Dream get caught in the ropes in the end of the match, and Alistair Black just laid black mass on him, 1, 2, 3, and it was all over. And at the end of the fucking match, when Dream was laying on the mat, hit from black mass, Black took the microphone and said his name. After all of that, he had his name finally said by the man he's been chasing for a month and a half. Fantastic fucking storytelling. Absolutely fantastic fucking storytelling, man. I do the match no justice. Talking about this. You have to go out and watch and see what these two guys did. Unreal. Storytelling at its finest in 2017 for WWE. We go on to the women. 4 women that I thoroughly enjoy watching perform in the ring. Kairi Sane, the winner of the Mae Young Classic. Built up with that bionic elbow drop off the top rope. Ember Moon, whose story has been told all year that she has not been able to capture the big one. And coincidentally, coming into her home state of Texas. Originally born and raised in Dallas. Now you're in Houston. She was the odds-on and hometown favorite to win this match. Peyton Royce, who came from nothing to just win the hearts of everybody, male and female in WWE, and prove that she can actually wrestle with a damn fucking picture-perfect plex as her finishing move. Then you got Nikki Cross, who's fucking psychotic, and I love everything about Nikki Cross and her psychotic self. You got 4 personalities in these women, in this match, that just told a great story in itself. Ember Moon, I had a feeling Ember Moon was going to win the Women's Championship. I knew. All signs pointed to Ember Moon. Ember Moon lost to Asuka at WWE NXT Takeover in Orlando. She lost to Asuka in Brooklyn, which was probably the best women's match all year. She lost twice to Asuka. She was not going to lose the third time. You were not going to watch this show and see Ember Moon lose her third opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship. Now that Asuka is not there, it's Ember Moon's time to rise. Well, JD, why not Peyton Royce? Why not Peyton Royce win this match? I said this on NXT Review. Peyton Royce is good in her own right. Peyton Royce, to me, is still developing. Peyton Royce, to me, is not at that level where I can call her champion. She looks great. She's beautiful. She obviously has come a long way, and you can see the developmental process in Peyton Royce. When I look at Peyton Royce, I do not see champion. Peyton Royce does not need to be a champion to be successful in NXT. She's done her role, she's gotten better, and she's been put in places to get others over who are far ahead of her. To me, that's a success. Peyton Royce doesn't need a championship to solidify her success in NXT. In fact, she's probably going to get called up to the main roster before everybody else. So you tell me if Peyton Royce is not a success or not, if they're going to promote her to the main roster. Her and Billie Kay, because they're coming as a package deal. Kairi Sane. It would have been way too predictable for Kairi Sane to win the NXT Championship. It goes from one Japanese beauty to the other. It's not going to happen. It's too predictable. You already gave her the Mae Young Classic. That's her shining moment of 2017. You can't give one woman all the shining moments in 2017. That in itself is a big deal because you are the first ever of your kind to win that tournament. That is the inaugural tournament, the first ever Mae Young Classic. You put that on your trophy case and you look at that for 2017. When 2018 comes around, then we can start talking about NXT Women's Champion. It would have been too predictable for Kairi Sane to win the title. And yes, they did change her music. I remember someone telling me on Wednesday that they wish Kairi Sane's music changed. I'm glad they didn't deviate too far from the epic Pirates of the Caribbean score. I really enjoyed the theme that she had for the Mae Young Classic, but they just made it sound a little bit more full. They made it sound a little bit more professional with the WWE CFO connection. So they did change her theme music. Kairi Sane will be NXT Women's Champion. Not now, not in 2017, but at WrestleMania. 2018, NXT Takeover New Orleans. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. As long as WWE keeps the essence that is Kairi Sane and realizes that in Kairi Sane, they do have the next Asuka. Kairi Sane does not, and I mean this, does not need to lose at all. She didn't win the match last night, but she didn't factor into the pinfall. Peyton Royce tried to be a Weasley devil, a Sly Fox, and tried to score pinfalls left and right, while other people hit their finishing moves. But needless to say, she got what was coming to her. Because when Peyton Royce was about to finish off Nikki Cross, Ember Moon went to the top rope and hit the Eclipse on Nikki Cross, sending Peyton Royce to the outside, and she pinned Nikki Cross to become the new NXT Women's Champion. And the kicker out of all this, the woman that beat her twice, one of them being the best women's match of the year, the woman that beat her twice came into the ring to present her new championship as a passing of the torch moment. And that in itself, I wanted to fucking shed a tear on that because I thought that was a beautiful moment. The fact that Asuka was there and the fact that Asuka dominated so much for the last 523 days, that she was there to give Ember Moon her moment, to give Ember Moon that title. And it meant all that much more because no one has touched that title since Asuka. And the fact that Asuka was the first one to give that title to Ember Moon meant everything in this story. Storyline development, character development. It's Ember Moon's time, and I'm looking forward to see what she does with the NXT Women's Championship. The right woman won. It's Ember Moon's time. Ember Moon is now in the role of Asuka. Now it's Ember Moon's time to put someone else over. Ember Moon's going to have her fun in the sun. Ember Moon's going to have her run with the NXT Women's Championship. She ain't going to be NXT Women's Champion for long. She ain't going to hold that title forever. She's too good to be suppressed in NXT. That title's going right to Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane versus Ember Moon at NXT Takeover New Orleans. Ember Moon couldn't get through Asuka. She ain't going to get through Kairi Sane. And what does both of them have in common? That Japanese connection. Ember Moon is not going to get past the Japanese wrestlers in NXT. I'm telling you right now. Fantastic match. The match was shorter than what I expected, but the women got a lot in there that made it really, really memorable. You know, there was a wicked fucking powerbomb by Ember Moon on Nikki Cross on the outside that made me fucking jump back. When they showed the replay, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, that has to fucking hurt. You got Kairi Sane hitting the elbow drop. She did hit the elbow drop. She hit the elbow drop and did not win the title. She hit the elbow drop, but I believe it was Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross laying on top of one another, but she did the elbow drop and drove the elbow right into both women. Ember Moon made the save for that. But these women worked their ass off. Fatal 4-ways tend to go, you know, a little sloppy, a little on the sloppy side. This one, you know, maintained that balance, and it was all in the story. The story was Ember Moon failing in Orlando, failing in Brooklyn. But in Houston, we have takeoff, man. And Ember Moon now is the NXT Women's Champion. Great fucking shit. You talk about superstars being fucking made tonight, man. You talk about superstars being resurrected. Andrade Cien Almas has resurrected his WWE career with the help of Selena Vega. And my God, did she look good last night, man. Selena Vega has turned Andrade Cien Almas around to the point where now people are taking him seriously. I mentioned this on NXT preview and predictions for this show. Almas was introduced to the WWE Universe as a stale, bland, emotionless character. Came out wearing overalls. He came out wearing a top hat. I made mention of him every single week, and I make fun of him every single week leading up to this transformation. I'm not making fun of him anymore. Almost looked like a bachelorette party hired him to pop out of a cake and start stripping his clothes off. That's what Almas was to me. He looked like a fucking stripper. He looked like he'd be auditioning for Magic Mike next to Kevin Nash. Then the storyline started to come into play. We started to see Almas take a turn for the dark side. Then we started to see more character development on Almas. And it's so great because I can actually see it being a real life thing. Almas didn't care if he was losing. Almas didn't care that he went out for every television tape and every takeover to just lose a match. He didn't care. He didn't care because he knew he was going to go back to the locker room, get showered, get fresh, and he was going to have 4 or 5 women hanging all over him. He's going to go out to the club and party and drink and get laid. And wrestling was secondary to him. That's the story that was told. I could see that being a legit story with the character that is Almas. Then Selena Vega comes into the picture. This beautiful Spanish New Yorker comes into play. And she is someone of Almas's past. An ex-girlfriend, an ex-lover, whatever the case may be. They have some type of bond and some type of connection. To the point where they're not only business partners, but you know that there was a past history between these two. And she has some type of control over him. And I don't mean control in a controlling way, but control meaning that she gets him to do the right thing. She levels him out and makes him all about business. And the fact that they added her to his character has taken him from Mr. Strippergram to NXT Champion. Now, the only thing, and I mentioned shocking, the only thing that I was shocked by during this entire pay-per-view was what happened in this match. I'm going to go on to say, as far as NXT Championship matches go, this is definitely top 3 of 2017. I think Almas and Drew McIntyre had great chemistry. I think Almas and McIntyre put on a great match. The story that was told was there, right? Almas did everything that he could, but McIntyre always had a counter for something. But Almas always had that X factor in Zelina Vega, and she did play a factor into this match. She tried to do a Hurricane Rana on Drew McIntyre on the outside, and that almost cost Almas the match, because McIntyre seen it coming And he caught her in a Frankensteiner. And he put her on the ground, asking her, what are you doing? And by that, it could have fucked up Almas and his chances to win. And you've seen the emotion on Zelina Vega's face. Did I fuck up? What did I just do? Did I ruin my guy's chances of winning the NXT Championship? She was at it again. When McIntyre, I believe, I don't know if he hit the Celtic Cross. I don't know if he hit the Claymore or the Future Shock DDT. I don't recall what he hit, but he hit something. And it was a near fall. Almas' foot was near the rope. Zelina Vega, the referee blind, picks up Almas' leg and puts it on the rope. The X Factor was there. Almas was trying to do everything he could to one-up Drew McIntyre, but couldn't, but always had that X Factor in Zelina Vega. Almas was no slouch himself. There was a moment in this match where he did a beautiful acai moonsault off the top rope while McIntyre was standing in the timekeeper's area. Brutal back and forth match. Shot after shot. Almas got double knees on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore on Almas. Kicked out. Almas hit the Hammerlock DDT on Drew McIntyre. At that point, I thought it was over. I thought if Almas got that DDT on McIntyre, it was over. But he kicked out. Drew McIntyre kicked out. Unfortunate circumstance in this match, which made me just feel that shocked feeling. I don't know if WWE planned on Almas to win the title. I can't believe that they had Almas planned to win the title. I heard rumors of Almas being called up to 205 Live or the main roster, whichever. I can't imagine WWE giving Almas the NXT Championship. Does he deserve a run with the title after the hard work that he's put in with his character, with everything that we've seen him transform into? Absolutely. Absolutely. Drew McIntyre, I feel, was given the title, and he was going to be given the title to run with it until he got his call up to the main roster eventually. This just feels out of place. This feels like something went wrong. Terribly wrong. Almas hit the Hammerlock DDT off the top rope. Off the top rope. Now, I don't know if McIntyre was injured before that spot, but I know after that move was made and after that spot happened, McIntyre's left arm went limp. And if you're watching the show or you go watch it back and you see that Hammerlock DDT off the top rope being hit on McIntyre, McIntyre's arm is clenched against his body as if he can't move it. At that point, I'm watching, I'm like, something's fucked up. And at that point, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I don't even think Almas realized what happened. I don't think what happened was supposed to happen. Andrade Cien Almas is your new NXT champion. And I honestly think, and I'm making an assumption here, this is my guess, I'm not reading any reports, I'm thinking that the match was changed mid-match, and I think they called an audible mid-match. I think McIntyre was supposed to win it, and I think Almas was given the title out of fear for not knowing how badly Drew McIntyre was hurt. They knew he was hurt. They knew he was hurt. He was visibly hurt. You've seen the sadness on his face as he sat up. He knew he was hurt. He knew he would not be able to continue. The trainer came out and asked him. They were conversing. I couldn't read lips, but whatever I seen didn't look good on McIntyre's part. Triple H took part in a Facebook live chat saying that Drew McIntyre possibly has a torn bicep and that it may require surgery. He's going to receive future evaluation in the coming days. I don't know what that means, but I know if it's a torn bicep, then Drew McIntyre's NXT run has been unceremoniously cut short. His NXT Championship run has been unceremoniously cut short. That's a sad fucking thing to happen, man. McIntyre looked absolutely fucking great. Came out wearing a kilt with chains. Looked like he was fucking part of a fucking death metal band, if you want him to be. You know? He just had that heavy metal-esque look. Black kilt with the chains. Had the championship around his waist. His music goes off, his hair in front of his face, he flips his hair up, hair fucking flies back. I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, my fucking God, does this guy look like a goddamn champion. This is what we need as our leader into the new era. McIntyre is everything you want. If you look, people look at Randy Orton and look at Randy Orton as the perfect wrestler, right? I look at Bobby Roode. I see Bobby Roode as the perfect wrestler. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got the attitude. He's got the ring entrance, right? Randy Orton, same thing. You look at Drew McIntyre, he fits into that category of perfect fucking wrestler. He's got everything, dude. 6'5", 260 fucking pounds. Guy's an absolute fucking beast of a person. He looks the part. He looks in the best shape of his life. He could wrestle and just kill people in that ring. Everything about McIntyre just reeks wrestler. Perfect wrestler. The fact that he's hurt now, it just raises a lot of fucking questions, man. A lot of fucking questions. The one thing that I was thinking of last night when I watched this, I'm like, where do they go with Almas as champion now? If McIntyre, from what I read, is hurt. If McIntyre is hurt, where do they go with the NXT Championship from now? This is the question. Never mind what happened in the match. The match was great. But the unfortunate circumstance that McIntyre got hurt, where do we go with Almas as champion? Does he get a token title reign? Did they give it to him merely to take it off of him? Or does WWE have fun with this now? Does WWE build this into something that they can actually make into a big deal? This is what I got planned right here. Listen to me. Let me know if you guys are thinking the same way that I am. Almas is a heel. Almas is a dirty heel. Almas is obviously going to need a babyface, a good babyface, to go up against as champion during this reign. The only two people that I can think of right now are, obviously the most clear-cut choice here is Alistair Black. But I think it might be too soon for him. He's only been in NXT for 6 months. He just debuted this year. Or, this is the one I'm leaning towards, because this one I think has the most long-term future planning to it. And it could be absolutely fucking epic. And I didn't think this was going to be, an option. But now that Almas is champion, this has all the makings of fucking epic behind it. We know the matches that Almas had with Johnny Gargano were fucking great. That match at Brooklyn, that could have been a main event on any fucking show. You put that match on any show in the main event, it would steal the show. It stole the show in the opening match at Takeover Brooklyn. That's how good it was. That's how good Almas is. That's how good Gargano is. Almas is going to need a good babyface to work with. Being that Alistair Black is too soon, I think Johnny Gargano fits the mold perfectly. What if Johnny Gargano beats Almas at WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans at TakeOver? Johnny Gargano wins the NXT Championship from Almas at the biggest takeover of the year. And then we have a NXT Championship feud of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Can you imagine Tommaso Ciampa coming back and realizing and seeing Johnny Gargano as the NXT champion? You thought he was pissed when he broke up with Gargano in Chicago? Can you imagine how fucking furious he'd be? Psycho killer he'd be if Gargano was NXT champion? And we get an NXT championship match for the title with Gargano and Ciampa? Do you realize that Gargano and Ciampa was supposed to take place in Brooklyn? Can you imagine 1 year later that it takes place? 1 year later, but this time with the NXT Championship on the line? That's the only thing I can possibly think of. I hope McIntyre's injury is not as severe as it is. I'm hearing that it's bad. I'm hearing that he's going to be out. We might not see him. We might not see him until SummerSlam. That's what I'm hearing right now. And I know things like this happen because it's wrestling, but God, I didn't want to have it happen to McIntyre, man. Now, people are thinking that this is all a work. People are actually under the assumption that this is all a work and that McIntyre's being called up to the main roster. That was actually one of my initial first thoughts. I'm like, they're giving the title to Almas because they want to move McIntyre up to the main roster. Obviously, anybody's thinking that. But when you see McIntyre and his arm just clenched against his body, couldn't move it, you knew something was wrong. Let me know what you guys think about that proposed plan. Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship, with Gargano winning the NXT Championship. And what a beautiful storyline that it would be. With the current storyline that's going on with Gargano right now, he can't win a fucking match. He doesn't know if he belongs or not. What if Gargano wins the fucking title and solidifies himself as champion? Then he will belong. I'm liking it, man. Gargano versus Champa for the NXT title. Take my fucking money right now. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. The future was made last night, man. The future was made last night. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Killian Dane, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, the Authors of Pain, and Roderick Strong, man. I said this last night. These guys earn their fucking payday plus an entire year bonus, bro. You knew this match was going to be brutal. You knew this match was going to be chaotic. You knew this match was going to be fucking crazy. We all wondered why Vince McMahon didn't want a roof on the ceiling of the cage. We all wondered why Vince McMahon made changes to override Triple H's vision of WarGames. After what we got last night, did it even matter? Did anybody even give a shit if there was a cage roof or not? All we were worried about was, is Alexander Wolf alive? The amount of blood the man lost last night. Jesus fucking Christ. Guy went through a table with the Authors of fucking Pain coming down on top of him. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to take that spot through 2 tables. There was a double avalanche in both corners, in both rings, with Adam Cole in the middle. He was the one who survived it all. And he's sitting there with a fucking absolutely dick-like smile on his face, doing his Adam Cole baby, as if he survived the fucking onslaught. Needless to say, the Authors of Pain made him suffer. Tried to get away. Climbed to the top of the cage, preventing himself from falling off, because if he fell over the cage and both feet hit the floor, then he would forfeit the match for his team. That was the ruling. You could not escape. You could not escape. WarGames is WarGames. It's supposed to be confined in the cage. You try to escape over the top, you're going to lose, bruh. You're going to lose. Adam Cole climbing the top of the cage, crawling on the beams as if he's a fucking fish on top of the cage. Roderick Strong meets him up there. I'm like, this can't be happening. And then the fans start chanting, please don't die, please don't die. Everybody else that was in the ring, 7 other men below. Roderick Strong superplexes fucking Adam Cole off the top rope. Off the steel top of the cage. Had to be at least 25 feet down. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Everybody got their story in. Everybody got their story in. Match started off with Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Eric Young. Then every 5-minute interval, another team would come. And then another 5-minute interval. We get another team. And then it's down to 3. Down to 3. Or I believe it was 5 minutes for the first guys, and then I think it was 5 minutes for the second team. And then I think it was 3 minutes after that. I'm not really sure exactly what the rules are. I got them here, but I'm too lazy to look them up. But eventually everybody was in this cage. And the way the rules are set up for WarGames is that one team will always have the advantage early on. When Sanity got in there, that's when things really got insane. Killian Dane said, fuck this shit. You know? Tired of seeing the Undisputed, tired of seeing the Authors of Pain just wreak havoc in the ring. Well, we're going to add our little dash of fucking chaos to this thing. They brought in trash cans, and they brought in kendo sticks. They brought in steel chairs. There was already a fucking, God knows how long, steel chain that was in that ring. Crowd start to chant, "We want tables." Killian Dane standing on the fucking ramp, grabs a table from underneath the ring, brings tables into the match. Killian Dane then locks the fucking door with a steel chain. He eats the fucking key. Killian Dane ate the fucking key to the cage so that nobody can escape this thing. There was only one way in. Through the door. You can't go over the top or you lose. So he ate the fucking key to prevent anybody from leaving the cage. He was the key. You talk about superstars being made, man. I mentioned this months prior to seeing this guy Insanity. If they build him up, Killian Dane could be the next monster of NXT. And my God, did this guy make a fucking career night inside WarGames. Killian Dane was an absolute fucking beast, bro. Throwing people left and right, fallaway slams with two fucking people, carrying one guy in a fallaway slam position and another guy on his shoulder. Just fucking all-out war. Killian Dane even did a coast-to-coast on fucking Kyle O'Reilly. Unbelievable. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? What am I watching here? I can't even go over everything that was in this fucking match. It was just fucking chaos. It was 9 guys beating the shit out of one another. Attention to detail, too. You talk about the Authors of Pain. They got matching outfits. Black tank tops, and then army fatigue. Classic army fatigue pants. They dressed Roderick Strong up just like an Author of Pain. He had a black tank top on and he had army fatigues on. Roderick Strong had a career night in this match, man. He looked fucking fantastic. Adam Cole had a career night in this thing. He looked fantastic. You know? A lot of people don't like Adam Cole in his early days in NXT, man. They think he's a pussy heel. They think he's a chicken shit heel. He ain't no fucking chicken shit heel after that, man. He proved that he belongs in this fucking match. He dominated with Undisputed in that match. Absolute chaos, man. Eric Young doing what he does best. Bobby Fish doing fucking moonsaults. Bobby Fish with a fucking picture-perfect moonsault in WarGames. All over the fucking place, man. I can't even go. I got notes here. I don't even know what to go over. I really don't even know what to go over. There's just so much that you honestly have to go and watch this thing. You know? It was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You talk about NXT and making waves for the future. Triple H even says, you know, and I quote, this was from the Facebook thing, Triple H teases future of WarGames. Many fans asked if this was the last time we would see WarGames under the WWE banner. He teased, I think we've seen a franchise built here tonight. I think WarGames will be back. When the time is right, I think we've got a lot of WarGames excitement still to come. I think WarGames is going to be a staple for Survivor Series weekend for NXT. Now the question, the $1 million question I love to know is how Vince McMahon is feeling about this. Is he kind of envious now that NXT has WarGames after the way it came off and how everybody is receiving it? Everybody is praising this fucking match up and down all day long. Triple H even said he had people on the main roster come to him asking him to be in that match. That's how much people wanted it on the main roster. But Vince McMahon didn't want it. Vince didn't want it. Adam Cole and the Undisputed One, which was a given, being that they are now the leaders of NXT, faction-wise. It will not be too long before Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish take the NXT Tag Team titles. That's a prediction of mine. My original prediction called for Roderick Strong to turn on the Authors of Pain and join Undisputed. We could still very well see that. I thought it would have made a lot of sense to happen in WarGames, but the fact that they didn't really want to add any more dramatics to an overly dramatic WarGames is probably the reason why that They didn't do that yet, but I could certainly still see it happening. This pay-per-view had everything. You wanted your fucking brutality? You got it. You wanted your emotion with Ember Moon and Asuka? Your tearjerker moment? You got it. You want your new wave of the future in Lars Sullivan, Alistair Black, and Velveteen Dream? You got it. You want your shocking moment in Almas winning the NXT Championship? You got it. This takeover had everything. And at the end of this thing, I pose these 2 points. A, how is WWE going to counteract what we seen with TakeOver last night with Survivor Series? Can it be done? Can it be done? And B, this may have very well been the most historic takeover of all time. And the fact that what we seen last night was so great, the future of NXT is in perfect hands. And I cannot wait to see what happens going on into 2018. We got the possibility of Almas as champion and something epic happening with what I just described to you. We got the possibility of Ricochet and Tessa Blanchard coming into NXT next year. NXT is hitting all their strides, man. Where does the Undisputed go from here? Do they add anybody else? What is their next plan of attack? What's next for Alistair Black? What's next? Who's the next target for Velveteen Dream? What's next for Johnny Gargano, who wasn't even on this show? What is he going to do to solidify that he does belong in NXT? Who's the next victim for Lars Sullivan? Lots of questions, man. Plus a lot of talent that you've been missing out on by not watching NXT. Guys like Fabian Eichner. What's going to be next for him on NXT? You know? What's going to happen with the Tag Team Championships going down the line? Lots of stuff, man. NXT is where it's at right now, and I urge you guys, if you're not watching NXT, you better get on that train. Because going into 2018, man, 2017 was a resurrecting year for NXT. 2018 is going to be even better. I just get that sense watching Takeover WarGames last night. Vince, I'm telling you right now, bro, I'm expecting big things from Survivor Series, but are they going to be big enough to top WarGames? Right now, I don't think so. That's your official takeover review, man. Thank you guys so much. I honestly cannot go over everything in that WarGames match, man. It was 30 minutes of unadulterated fucking carnage. I can't go over it. You're going to have to go watch it yourself. It was historic. It did everything you wanted. It lived up to the hype. And it presented Survivor Series something that they might not overcome. Again, we're looking at NXT conquering another Big Four pay-per-view for WWE. My name is JD. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys tonight for the Survivor Series. And I'll have Off the Script uploaded for you guys early tomorrow morning as well. I'm going to bypass today to relax and get ready for Survivor Series. I'm giving you guys this takeover review. And I'll upload part 3 of Off the Script tomorrow morning at its normal time. Thank you guys so much. I am JD. Hit that fucking thumbs up. If you enjoyed TakeOver, hit that thumbs up and show me how much you loved it, man. I'll see you guys tonight for Survivor Series. Let's go, AJ Styles. I'll talk to you later.